Welcome to GamerStation's Browser Games of the Week for the week of January 15th, and I'm your host, Steven SnakeYukin Lindsey. Starting our list this week is a game that uses the RPG Maker engine's graphics to create his game. Why he chose to make a Flash out of it is apparent when the battle starts. It's not the type of battle system that one could easily make in the engine, as it plays as a dual-stick shooter. On the negative side of that though, some of these battles can take a while. I mean, look at this battle. It takes forever. Mainly because the enemy has 230 HP, my guns only do 2 HP of damage, so that's 100 hits I gotta do. Anyways, for the story, you play a lad whose mom died, you have stayed inside, and now you have decided to go outside and kill creatures, and I guess something happens. I haven't finished it yet. It's Bubble Blast to the extreme. For those that haven't played Bubble Blast, the premise is very simple. Find a group of similar colored bubbles and click on them. How do you make it extreme? You make those bubbles fall from the sky, put in 50 levels, have power-ups, make them have the little blur effects, and extreme music. Okay, the music isn't that extreme, but just put in Dragon Force or some music you think is extreme. If you are expecting a rhythm game, then you'd be so wrong. Now if you're expecting a platformer, then you got it right on the nose. Silence has stolen the Platinum CD, causing the world to lose its color, and there's no more music in the world. You gotta restore the power to speakers in the area to progress. Also, you'll need to collect CDs that allow Rhyhm to activate special powers, such as rock speeding you up and letting you jump further distances. I really think that Run Llama Run would be a more appropriate title to this game, and more to the point too. You control a llama who is trying to run as fast as his little legs can so they can see more and more colors. The reason is that llamas can see more colors as they go faster. I really don't know if that's true, but it's what the game tells me. So you control a llama that keeps running, and you have to make him jump so he doesn't fall to his death. Don't worry, this is one of those games that you start off going a small distance, but by the end, after several increases in your stats, you just might go all the way. So a teal ball and an orange ball have to move at the same time. How will you do? That isn't a joke. You control both a teal and an orange ball on different sides of the screen at the same time, and you must make sure they avoid the many obstacles on both sides of the screen. Early on, it's quite easy, but later on it becomes quite a challenge. You can even eventually have both balls on the same side of the screen, but only obstacles of similar color to the ball will harm it, so orange objects won't hurt the teal ball. Wait a minute. Shouldn't that be Man in a Gap? I've also heard this game is a copy of Mr. Spades, but I've seen a few games similar to this by now, so I'm unsure if it has become a sort of genre. You know, stick man getting in gaps. Anyways, the point is get your stick figure person into a gap that'll be created when the ceiling comes down to meet the floor. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you're just a little too slow. The only driving force is to get further than you have previously. If you've been in the need of a new game that allows you to sling a cute little animal as far as you can, like Toss the Turtle, then this game will be for you. You have a little squirrel in a swing, and then you come along and you pull it back as far as you can to launch it on its way. You should know the routine by now. Get it as far as you can, get money, buy new stuff to go further and get more money, and buy even more stuff. It's as simple. Sling this colored circle at the other colored circles to knock it out of the arena, but don't hit those red circles or it's game over. Now, if my shortening of that doesn't make any sense, here it is in long. You have a blue circle that you must knock into other circles to cause them to bounce off screen. You have a set number of turns, so you gotta make them count. All you gotta do is make sure to not hit those red circles, as I said before. Aliens are on Earth, ready to kill you all, and you gotta be the one to hold the line. Fight off waves of aliens and increase difficult alien species till the cavalry can arrive. In between the waves, use the resources you gather to build new buildings and weapons to help you fend off the alien horde. What else needs to be really said? Just shoot those ETs. I'm really unsure if I should be offended at this game or not. I really want to believe it's satire or something like that. The game is a toss the turtle distance type of game. Your goal, get a Mexican to reach the border and cross the border of the US. All along the way, you'll have to worry about things like trigger-happy border patrol, birds, snakes, and many other things. Also, it's not the most original, but I think it's nifty to have this slow-mo mechanic to help you shoot objects, though it's triggered by tequila. If you don't like the idea of the game, then, well, don't play it. This Super Mega Bot can't help from bouncing all the time. Why must he bounce all the time? The game is a platformer, and your goal is to get from one teleporter on one side of the screen to one on the complete opposite end of the screen. The problem is there are tons of spike-based objects, lasers, and other threats that want to kill you. Every time you die, you lose 100 points, which you'll likely do a whole lot. You should also try to stomp on those blue boxes as they give you 1,000 points. Points make the world go round. It's a tower defense game for all of you germaphobes out there. Unlike most other tower defense games, there is no real set route that the enemy is coming from. All you know is that they're coming from the right hand of the screen, and you need to make sure they don't get to the hand on the left side of the screen. Also, remember they can upgrade the towers. It's not so clear that you can, so you should try to remember. So tell me if this has ever happened to you. You're brushing your teeth when a fly starts to bug you, and you try to squash it, but that fly ends up shrinking you to the size of a fly. Now you gotta find that son of a fly and teach him who's boss. This involves some pointing and clicking and puzzle solving, as well as spraying, smashing, and shooting some flies. You live in a dump and you want to get out. The problem is that everyone out there doesn't want you to get out apparently. Oh, and did I mention that you can turn into a sea-based creature and a flying one after you get harmed enough? Unlike the other distance games on this list, this is one we can resume from where you last left off. Use the money you get to buy new characters to use. Each one has better and unique stats to them to make the long journey towards escaping the dump a little shorter. I seriously thought this was going to be a completely different game from what it was. It's a card game that is very similar to Blackjack. Each player has 3 cards, and they can only have 3 cards at a time. The point is to get as close to 31 as you can within the same suit. 3 of a kind will give you an instant 30. Each time it's your turn, you can either pick a new card from the deck or choose from the top of the waste pile. Then you must choose one of your cards to put in the waste pile. After your first time, you can stop the bus, which means that everyone must reveal their hands on the next turn. What can be more fun than swinging a baseball bat at zombies pretending they're baseballs? Well, I'm sure doing a lot of things in Dead Rising with zombies are actually a little bit funner than that, but let's pretend it's not. The world has become zombies, and it's up to you to save the world. Mainly this involves going through 7 levels filled with zombies in which you gotta swing away. And then after you beat the story mode, you can go into survival mode, which is more or less 99 levels that you have to survive, which I kinda doubt you will, but if you do, you're better than I am. And now for our segment that we call Classic Browser Games of the Week. And our pick for this week is the Shift series, parts 1 through 4. Recently, I was able to play the new Shift Freedom game, and boy, was it glitched and not that good. However, those previous games in the series were quite good, and I still like to go back and play them from time to time. It mixes puzzles and platforming well, and it never feels too hard. So check out the first 4 in the series, but not the latest one. And with that, we come to the end of our list for this week. Now remember, each and every Sunday we're going to be having up a new video in this series. So if you want to be up to date on this and our other videos, such as our previews, reviews, giveaways, contests, etc., all you gotta do is subscribe to us. It's only one click away, and the button's up there. Also, please rate, comment, fave, and tell your friends about this video. Lastly, if you believe a game came out this week, but it wasn't on our list, please leave a comment with a link to the game and the title of the game itself, because, well, the truth is, our list can get quite long, and there are several games that have to be cut to, well, make sure that our video is within the time limit.
Close your eyes, hear the thunder and rain. Fear inside of the torturing pain for the cries of the world.